In today's class, we will be learning about how pointers can be connected to the strings. Up to our last class, we learned how pointers can be connected with one-dimensional array, with two-dimensional array, and how it can be connected with array, like with the functions also, right? So today we will be extending that one little bit, where we will be learning how a pointers concept can be connected with the strings. So before going to learn directly about the strings, let me revise the pointers and arrays concept quickly. Where how because a string is nothing but a collection of characters. Like it is also called as an array, one-dimensional array, where all the data that will be going to store in the array is of character data type only, right? So string is also considered as one-dimensional array only in C programming language. So before going to directly jump into the concept of pointers and strings, what I want to revise is here is, let us see how we have connected this pointers and arrays concept, and then we'll move to that concept. So a quick revision of this one is, we have already learned how pointers and arrays are connected. There I already told you, like array name can be directly used to be considered as a pointer. Like array name directly, if you use it, is nothing but that array name represents the base address of your one-dimensional array, which we have already learned. For example, if you see, if you consider array of 5, ARR is the array name, which is capable of storing 5 values. Then if you want to store the base address of this one, what do you mean by base address? The address of your first element of this array. What is the address of first element? Ampersand of array of 0. So this is where you will be getting the base address of your total array of 5 elements. Now in this PTR, we can store the base address directly by using this one, which is a normal notation, or else you can directly use the array name itself. This we have already learned, and also I told you like how the value of that array location. Let us consider, if you want to get the value at array of 3, that is nothing but fourth element. If you want to get, then that can be retrieved by using your pointer PTR plus 3, or else you can use array name plus 3. This is called as offset approach. These things we already learned. If you are not clear with this one, go through that concept once again. Okay, so this is how value can be retrieved. If you want to get the address, simply you can get the address by putting an ampersand here. This you already know, or else you can directly write PTR plus 1, because PTR represents the starting address, and if you go on adding 1 and then 2 and then 3, then you will be getting the fourth element. PTR will be pointing to the first element, PTR plus 3 will be pointing to the fourth element. All of you. So this is how pointers and arrays can be combined. For your reference, I have written a small example here, where if you want to find out the sum of all array elements, this program you have already done without using the pointers, but the same program we have converted here. You can check here where we are trying to find the sum of all elements in the array using the pointers. Got it? Normally how we'll be doing, we'll be declaring one array and we will be using ampersand a of I here to read all the values. Isn't it or not? The normal approach is like this. If you want to read all the values, what we'll do, in place of this one, we will be writing ampersand of a of I. That is the way how we will be reading all the 20 elements. Here I am reading 5 elements only. All the 5 elements can be read. And how we will be performing the sum, in place of this one, we will be writing sum equal to, sum will be initialized to 0, and we will be adding a of I. That means individual element can be added to this sum, and finally after 5 times repetition, you will be getting the sum of all the 5 elements. But if you want to convert this program using pointers, observe here, I already told you, if you want to use ampersand of a of I, whenever you want to refer to a particular element, first we need to have a pointer variable, and in that pointer variable, we need to store the base address. We are taking one-dimensional array, and all the values are of integer data type. And whenever you want to read, you can read using ampersand a of I, or else you can use PTR plus I, because PTR will be pointing to the ampersand of a of 0, and PTR plus 1 will be pointing to the ampersand of a of 1, like that. So we have generalized that one by writing PTR plus 1 of I. So this loop will be used to read all the values, all the 5 values. Now coming to this one, this loop is used to perform the sum of all the elements in that one. To do that task, if you want to use the PTR, that means our pointer variable, then that can be done by using this one. Already I have shown you in the last slide. If you want to get a particular value, you will be getting that particular value, you will be using star PTR plus 3 for third element if you are accessing. So to get a particular element, you will be representing that one with the I, and whatever your value you get, that will be added to the sum. So finally the sum value will be represented. You can see here it is asking us to enter the array elements. We have given 5 values and you are trying to display the values. Star PTR plus I is nothing but if it is 0, PTR of 0, like that. So it is displaying all the 5 values, and then finally it is displaying the total of all these 5 values. And this program is developed by using our pointers. We have converted the normal program using our pointers concept. Right, all of you? So this is a quick revision of how one-dimensional array, because while discussing one-dimensional array, I did not show you this program which is missing in that one. So that's why I have added here where how one-dimensional arrays can be converted using the pointers. Whatever programs you have done using one-dimensional arrays, all those programs can be converted using this concept of pointers. Right, all of you? So normally how we can access, how can we refer to an array element? An array element can be referred in one of these 4 ways. You can use any of these 4 ways. All are same. If you want to get the value, you can use one of these 4 ways. What are the 4 values? You can, let us consider if you have declared array of 10, and if you want to accept the 4th element or indexes of 3, then you can directly write array of 3, or this is which is called as array subscripting. This is the normal procedure we will be following throughout our C. But if you want to use the array offset concept also, it is also possible where you can put star and you can write the array name plus 3. 3 is called your offset. Offset stands for the which element you want to accept. Suppose if you write 0, 0 is nothing but you want to accept the 0th element. If you put 1, you want to accept your first location element, that is your second element. Got it? This is the way how you are accepting using your array name. But the other 2 will be using through pointer. In this case, what you need to do in PTR, initially you need to store your array address, or else write PTR equal to ARR. After writing like this, you can use this one or you can use this one. Any one of these 2 can be used. So we have 4 ways to access or to refer any array element using directly the array name or using the PTR, which is called as a pointer variable. Got it, all of you? So with this concept, let us jump into our array with strings concept. Whatever earlier program I have written, the same program is reflected here, where I have represented all the 4 ways here, like how array subscription is done, how pointer subscription is done, how pointer offset is done. 4 ways that has been reflected in this program. Just see and execute this program and you can observe how the values are represented. If you see here, we have used array subscription option and we have used pointer subscription option. All the values are same. We are getting the same value. That means both the ways we can accept the values. We can access the values. All of you. So let us see how a pointers and a character string, array of characters, can be combined together. Now, a very powerful feature in the C programming language is array of strings. That means we can have an array where individual location can be pointing to a particular string. That I'll show you how it can be done. So array of pointers, we have a new concept which is used to create this array of strings. Whenever you want to create array of strings, then we can use array of pointers concept, which is also known as string array. Diagrammatically, if you see, then it will be very clear. What is the meaning behind this one is each entry in the array is string. Are you understanding? Suppose if you consider one array like this, I am talking an array. Here you will be considering a address. That address will be pointing to one string array again, like this. So this, let us consider this string is A, B, C, D, E. Like this, you have array of strings and all these addresses will be stored in one array, and this array is referred as array of pointers. Why? Because we have so many values. All those values are addresses only, and this array referred as array of pointers, and this array of pointers is used to create your array of strings. Got it? So each entry in the array, whatever entry you have in this array is pointing to one string. Okay, and it is normally pointing to the first character of your string. So how it will be done, I'll show you. Normally how we have used to create the string, we will be creating the string using this character data type, and you will be using a string name, and you need to tell how many characters you want to store, and directly you can store your string. And if you write like this, what happens? Here we have 5 characters, and one more allocation is also allocated, which will be holding the /0. So for let us consider, if you are writing like this, let us consider these are the addresses allocated. And each location will be accepting 1 byte only. Why? Because character accepts 1 byte. Character requires 1 byte. So after 1001 will be allocated to the next character. So this is the normal way of allocating the memory whenever you are declaring any string, or whenever you are declaring and initializing any string, which is nothing but creating a string. Now the same string can be created by using your pointers also. How that can be done, I'll show you. This statement, whatever you have written earlier, can be considered like this, where the base address of this str can be stored in a ptr. Observe here, this data type and data type should match. If you are not, if these two are not matching, it will get an error. Always the pointer data type should match. Why? Because it is telling like the pointer will be holding the address of this data type variable. That is what we learned at the time of pointers. Okay, so if you are writing like this, then the base address is we are trying to store in this ptr, same like your one-dimensional arrays how we have done. Okay, now what happens? Suppose if you see, if you write like this, then this will be created and the addresses will be created like this. Now if you are writing this statement, then what happens? What is the base address? Base address can be directly accepted by using str, or else you can write ampersand of str of 0. You can also write like this. In place of this one, in place of this, you can also write like this, which you already know. That we are trying to store in ptr. That means for ptr, one more allocation will be allocated, and its address is 8000. And what is the value that will be stored in ptr? The base address of this str. What is the base address? Our 1000, that will be stored here. Are you understanding, all of you? This is how same like your one-dimensional array only. Because string is also a one-dimensional array where the data is only differing, where here the data is all characters types. So if you see here a small example, I have taken the same example, storing hello in one string str, and I am storing the base address. Now if you want to print this one, we already know we can print this one by using putS. Or you can use for loop using percentage. You can use for loop with percentage yes, or you can use for loop. You can use percentage yes also, or percentage c. We have 3 ways to display the string that we have already learned. But here, what I am doing is I am using my ptr to print the string. So what happens? Now we already know from this one. Initially, the ptr value is 1000, isn't it or not? Now it will check star of ptr is /0 or not. What happens here? Star of ptr is nothing but h. As of now, for the first time, it is not equal to 0. Then it will enter here, and whatever value you have, star ptr means your h will be printed. So you will get h now. And then ptr will be incremented. Ptr will be incremented is nothing but coming to, we already know arithmetic operation ptr plus is nothing but we want to add 1 to this ptr. That means what is our base address? That is 10,000 plus, okay, we want to add 1 star size. What is the size of your this one? Character size is 1 byte. Right? So 1 into 1 is 1. So you will be getting next location as 1001. So it will be pointing to the next location here. Whenever you write this statement, it will be pointing to this location, and it will reiterate again. Now what is star ptr here? Star ptr is e, which is not equal to /0. It will print e, then e will be printed. Okay, again it will enter into here, and e will be printed, and again ptr plus 1. Now what is ptr plus 1? You have a value of 1001 now, and to that 1 star again data type size is 1, so your value is 1002 now. Now it will be pointing to this next location. Okay, the value here is L. So it will be repeating the same thing until you reach /0. Once it reaches /0, once it reaches this location, then what happens? Your condition becomes false because we have it given not equal to, but the value is equal to /0. It becomes false and it will come out of this loop. So this is the way how we have used the strings concept, pointers concept to display the string value. Are you clear with this concept, all of you? How a pointer value can be used to display the string value? I hope you all are clear with this one. Here, nothing is different. Everything is same like your normal one-dimensional array, how you have used. Okay, this is the program where you want to store the value like earlier program only, which we have converted into a little bit different way. What I have done is here in the earlier program, you see we have used a normal string data type. Like normal string we have used, and its address is stored in PTR. But instead of writing these two statements, what I have done is I have directly used a pointer string, and there we have directly stored the value. The rest of the thing is same. The only difference is here, instead of creating new variable character array, we have directly used a pointer variable to store the string. This is also possible. What are the other two ways? You can directly store in a pointer. You can store your string, which can be of char data type, or else this is the one way. Second way is you can create one string char s of, you declare the size, you write down the value, and you store its address. That means you can write p star p equal to s. This is also possible. Any one of these two approaches can be used to store your string. This way is you are creating a string and storing its base address in P. This way is you are directly storing the value using the pointer. This is the second way how we have done, and the rest of the thing is same like the way we have displayed the output. Got it? Now coming to array of strings. What do you mean by array of string? Till now we have discussed we have only one string and it is storing all the values, characters, and its base address will be stored in P. Isn't it or not? But now our approach is we want to create array of strings. What do you mean by array of strings? This is string 1. We want to have another string. That means we want to create a two-dimensional array. Isn't it or not? So to do that task, how can we do that one? I'll show you. So we are trying to create two-dimensional arrays where this is one-dimensional array, multiple one-dimensional arrays you want to create, and all the values in this one is of character data type. Now, if you want to do that one, how can we do? The normal way is we need to create a data type and you need to specify the row size and column size. Isn't it or not? Then you need to give the values like this. All the values are of string type. Now, if you give like this, what happens? Observe here, 4 rows are created. Very good. And then each row is capable of storing 12 values. But if you see here, the first value is Chennai, which is occupying only 7 locations. And the rest of the other 4 locations are empty. And if you see the next one, Kolkata is also occupying 7 and 4 more locations are empty. And the next, here also if you see Mumbai and New Delhi also if you take, we are wasting some memory. Isn't it? The problem with this approach is we are allocating 4 into 12, that is 48 bytes of memory, but we are using only 33 bytes of memory, and the rest remaining bytes of memory we are wasting. So that can also be saved if you are using the pointers concept only in case of array of strings. That means this is array of strings only. In this case, if you want to effectively use your memory, where instead of wasting your memory, in this case, if you see, we are allocating 48, but we are using only 33 bytes. So the rest of the memory locations are unused and it is wastage of memory. So that can also be saved by using your array of pointers. How we can use that one is simply, in the earlier case, we have declared city PTR is a normal variable. We have written like this. Let me show you that one once again. We have taken city 412 like that, a normal character. What we have done? We have taken city and we have written 4. I think my handwriting is very bad in this. Okay, city 412 we have written like this, but with this approach, what we have observed is we are wasting some space. So that can be solved by using your array of pointers, where you can create one pointer array, which is nothing but we want to create four rows. That means row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, and each row will be allocated that much of memory only depending upon the number of characters you are giving. Observe carefully all of you. What we have given, we have created one pointer array like this. I'll show you the diagram also how it will be done. If you are writing like this, then what happens? It will be creating, as we have written 4, it will be creating 4 locations, and in the 4 locations, it will be storing the value, exactly the amount of memory required. So if you observe here, that memory is not allocated. So with this, what happens is the memory wastage can be reduced, which we have observed in the earlier slide. If you are using directly only normal two-dimensional string, normal two-dimensional array of string, then what happens? We observe there like some memory is wasted. But if you are converting your program where only array of pointers are used, like this simply pointer if you are using, and you need to specify only the row size, in that case the number of characters you give for each row, that much of memory only will be allocated. So here memory will be effectively utilized. Now let me show you the example for this one. Instead of this one, if you see here, if you write city of PTR like this, whatever we have learned there, then what happens? City PTR is consisting of one four-dimensional array, one-dimensional array with 4 values, and each value in this one will be pointing to a new one-dimensional array, and that one new one-dimensional array is of string. Suppose if you want to store, I'll show you that one. We have declared this one same way. Whatever we have written, Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai and New Delhi we want to store. Then Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai and New Delhi will be allocated somewhere in the memory. Okay, will be stored somewhere in the memory. Exact size will be allocated. And then the base address of whatever string you have, that will be stored in your CPTR, city PTR. Got it all of you? City pointer. Now 1000 will be pointed in the first memory location. 2000 will be pointing to the second memory location. 3000 will be given to the third memory location, and 4000 will be stored in the fourth memory location. So city PTR is a one-dimensional array of pointers. Why we are calling it as an array of pointers? Because all the values in this array are pointers only. That means we are storing the addresses only. That's why it is called as array of pointers. Got it? Why we are shifting to the array of pointers? We are shifting to the array of pointers to effectively utilize our memory. We don't want to waste our memory. If you want to effectively utilize your memory, then we can convert our normal array to array of pointers, where all the values in that array will be storing the base address of that one-dimensional array. So that is called as array of pointers. Now, if you are using this array of pointers, how the values will be displayed? Let me show you this example. This you all are clear? We are trying to declare one array of pointer, where in this array of pointer we have created like this. We have created like this. Let me erase this one. We have created one array like this, and all the values, the addresses are stored like this. Okay. Now I want to display these values. How can we display the values? Follow carefully all of you. For the first I value will be 0. J value will be 0. Come here, city PTR of I plus j. We already learned in the last class how two-dimensional arrays can be accessed. Do you remember that one? City PTR of I plus j refers to the particular row. That means I equal to 0 is nothing but this one. This is pointing to this one, and j is nothing but we are referring to that particular value, this one. Are you understanding? So you will be getting the value of this one, that will be printed, and then j value will be incremented. Now the j value will be incremented to this location, and its value is not equal to /0. So its value will be, its value will be printed. So this value will be printed, and then j value will be incremented, its value will be printed. So it will be continuing until /0 for I equal to 0 for the first iteration. So if you see here, you will be getting all the values Chennai like this. Now coming back here, I value will be incremented. Then I value will be incremented means I will be pointed by this one. Now we are referring to this location. Now again, the J value will be equal to 0. Starting from here to here, it will continue that loop. And character by character, the data will be printed. Sorry, I think I have changed the input here. The input is here, Bangalore. So that will be displayed here. Okay, coming to the next iteration, I equal to 1. Sorry, not I equal to 1, I equal to 2. What happens? This one, and it is pointing to this value. And in j equal to 0 to up to that one, the values will be printed. So this is how array of pointers can be used for accessing the values. The only thing why we are shifting to array of pointers you need to understand here is effective utilization of memory. And why it is called as array of pointers? Why it is called as array of pointers? Because this is one array and all the values are pointers to a new one dimensional array. That means these are all addresses only. That's why it is called as array of pointers. Got it, all of you? So this is about how pointers and strings can be combined and how array of pointers can be used. Got it? I hope you all are clear with this concept. So with this, we can come to an end of our today's concept, how array and pointers can be combined.